Hello, Moto Heads, and welcome to some more high-speed action. We're here for a Triple Crown Enduro race, first one of its kind ever. We got our game face on at Southwick. The gate is down, and this deep sand just bogged us down a little bit, but not a bad jump. All right, Moto Heads, this is going to be a long race. It's a 15-minute race. But when you include the fact that we're doing 3-minute lap times out here on this Enduro, this might be a minute to finish all three of these races. All right, Motorheads, we just moved up to third place. A couple guys making some mistakes there. And there's Minty Pine Cones right in front of us. And we just got passed by I Eat Sand. What an appropriate name for this track, as he's roosting sand right into my mouth. Oh, and he made a mistake, I believe. Okay, we're in second place. Oh, that's I Eat Sand right out in front of us. Okay, this section. Oh no, we just completely ruined that section, having to go through the water. And Minty Pine Cones is the only guy out of the three of us that went through that section properly. That's going to put him out into the lead, at least for a second. And now we got Fangster sweating us, Moto Heads. Oh, Fangster off into the swamp there. You've got to be careful in this section of this track. That swamp trap is pretty bad. Okay, Moto Heads, I got this track down pretty good, so I'm pretty optimistic about the way we're going to finish. But then again, I Eat Sand is a pro rider. He's a pro motocrosser. He is a badass. And we let anybody join this event that wanted to. There are no restrictions on your skill level. I don't mean to pat myself on the back here, but I'm catching these guys in the trees. Oh, I didn't see anything. Did you see anything? That's right, Moto Heads. We do got a secret little line there. Apparently those two guys don't know about. And we are reeling him in. One hits a tree, he's down. Oh, woo! I thought we were going to hit that tree, Moto Heads. I thought for sure. That wasn't the prettiest way that I like to slice my way through that section. But we are still in second. And I love this track. I love the way that you leave the trail behind you like that in the grass section. It's so cool. Oof, out jumping I Eat Sand. And we're about to complete our first lap here at the Southwick Invitational Enduro. Now, Moto Heads, as this race unfolds, okay, second place across the finish line. As this race unfolds, oh, off the track getting reset, Moto Heads. That was not cool. And now we got to worry about Minty Pine Cones coming up behind us. I Eat Sand just ate some sand. I Eat Sand just ate the banner. Off to our left there, Moto Heads. That's going to put us in the lead, and we are wide open in that section. All right, Moto Heads, this is where we should be. We put enough practice in on this track, and there are at least 3-4 riders behind me that do concern me as far as their natural ability goes to reel me in and make a move on us. Completely blew that section. Very surprised we didn't get past right there. Oh, that was I Eat Sand again, coming up behind us. Okay, here's that section. We're going to take our time. Okay, he blew it. We didn't. That's the way you do it right there. Keep it low right here, Moto Heads. All right, over the big double. Still maintaining the lead. We got a couple seconds of a lead right now. Okay, Moto Heads, so as this race unfolds, I'm going to tell you the story about my very first grown man enduro. And you might be wondering, well, what do I mean by grown man enduro? Is there any other kind? And as it turns out, there is, or at least there used to be, and I'm assuming that is still the fact. And the not grown man enduro was called a family enduro. And when I was a little boy, we raced a lot of family enduros. Me and my dad and my brother. And at first, my dad would team up with my brother, and they would always win the parent-child team. And then when my brother got a little older, my dad went ahead and picked me as his partner. And once again, we would always win the parent-child team in these family enduros. The family enduros were really easy, even for a little kid. And believe it or not, Motoheads, oh man, I thought we were going down right there for sure. Okay, we got a 5-6 second lead now. I love it. Whew. So, believe it or not, Motoheads, when I was about, I think I was about 12 or 13, I won one of those family enduros overall winner above everybody. Ooh. Threading the needle right there. Anywho, the old school enduros that I used to race were a lot different than anything that they do nowadays that I know of. And it all had to do with timekeeping. So basically you had a digital watch and you had a roll chart and you had to have a tripometer in order to be successful at this type of enduro racing. I'm not going to get into the details too much of how it worked, but in a nutshell, if you were to a time check early, you got 5 points for every minute you were there early. And if you were late, you got 1 point for every minute you were there late. And the person with the least amount of points won the race. Sounds strange? It kind of was. Alright, Motoheads, we're doing pretty good here with 8 minutes left to go in this first moto of 3. We're still maintaining a 5-6 second lead, getting this section down again. Alright, so the family enduro, the way that it was set up is the course was super easy, so even a lame from the flatland could get around it. All the easy green trails, way too easy for our skill level that we had going at that time, even as little kids. And the time speeds, or the speed averages that they would set for you, were so slow that we had no problem keeping up with them. After that, it was just a matter of math. And I guess we just do good math in my family. Regardless, the family enduros were fun to do, and we always got trophies, but they really weren't very challenging. And I'm noticing, Motoheads, we got somebody catching up behind us here. Alright, taking my little secret line. I don't think he saw that. Okay. So, what I'm going to talk about to you, Motoheads, today is my first grown man enduro. Not a family enduro, a real enduro. And I was not a grown man when I entered that thing. And before I could race in a grown man enduro, my dad had to give me the thumbs up and say he felt that I was ready to experience that, and he would also ride with me to make sure I got out of the woods okay in the end of it all. In a nutshell, Motoheads, I had to earn some stripes before I could line up and race my first grown man enduro. Okay, so another lap here. We got 6 minutes left in this first 3 motos, and we are killing it. Such a sandy track here at Southwick. Okay, so whenever my dad would go race enduros with his friends, it was a camping in the national forest situation, and us kids would go, and while they were out racing, we would ride around on our mini bikes all around the area, cutting our teeth, learning how to do log jumps and uphills and ride through the rocks and downhills, perfecting our skills. And then eventually, once we got a little bit bigger, what we would do is we would become free riders The Enduros that we raced were 2 loops with a gas stop in between. So the first thing in the morning, us kids would get up and we would start the Enduro's second loop. And we would see how far we could get on it before we would get on some kind of bailout trail. And that was earning our stripes to line up and race our first grown man Enduro. Anyway, there I was, next to my dad. I was 13 years old, and I was a small 13 years old, a very small kid. I was riding an XR 185. That bike was too big for me. In order to start it, I had to put it on its kickstand. I could only put 1 foot down at a time, and whenever I would fall over, I could not lift the bike back up. So it was good that my dad was with me. We had a plan, and I was going to see if I could finish this thing. I knew I could not maintain the speed averages that were set, but you know what? I was just going to try to make it to the end and finish. That was my goal. Anyway, this Enduro was up in the Mendocino National Forest outside of a town called Stony Ford at a place called Fout Springs, California. Whoa! Almost hit that tree again. I swear one day I'm going to go into cardiac arrest whilst playing this video game. Alright, Moto Heads, so we're still at a 5-second lead. The track is getting worn in. We are on medium deform in this Triple Crown. Alright, Moto Heads, so Stony Ford, California, Fout Springs, if you will. We line up in the morning. We are starting with the C Riders because, well, at this point my dad was a B rider, but he went ahead and started with the C Riders back with me. There were dirt bikes everywhere, all kinds of dust going up a ridge where everybody was racing off and up into the mountains and the woods. And then boom, just like that, we started, and I was starting my very first grown man Enduro. A little bit nervous, but very excited. And we started going up some trails that I knew, and it was just getting dusty, starting way in the back like that. So we're going up the very first ridge that consisted of a bunch of uphills that I had already done in my past. Some of these C riders were riding over their head, including myself. And what I mean by that is maybe I shouldn't have been doing this quite yet. Oh, massacred that section again, Moto Heads, and that's going to cost me. I got a rider coming up right up behind me. All right, over the double jump. Less than a half second behind us here, Moto Heads. See what we can do here. I got to be real tight around this turn. Stay out of that swamp. Okay, he must have went in the swamp or something because, whew, we got a little bit of a lead back. All right, so we're riding up this ridge, up nice uphills, just a real fun morning other than the dust. And then we get to our first bottleneck. It's probably about 2 miles from the start, maybe even less. And everybody's just stopped and waiting for their turn to go up this hill that a couple guys got jammed up where they're just messing it up. They're not very experienced riders, and the rest of us were going to pay for that. So I stop my bike, I pull in my front brake lever, and it snaps. I start rolling backwards. That's the noise it made, actually. Oh, we almost hit that tree again. So I start rolling backwards real fast, and I careen into the back. I careen into the front of 2 guys behind me. They're like, "Hey, what the heck?" And I had to, oh, Moto Heads. I blew it. All right. Still got the lead. That's a good thing. Only 18 seconds left on the clock in this moto. Anyway, I went rolling backwards right into a couple other guys. They stopped me from rolling. I hit the ground. My bike fell over. And I had to say, hey, my front brake cable broke. My dad was like, what the heck just happened? So anyways, now I have no front brake. And I've got to keep my bike still on the downhill by pushing in my back brake, which is a better brake to have in that situation anyway. Alright, so now I have no front brake. And I'm riding my first grown man enduro. And we continue going on up the trail. So we come to our first fairly gnarly downhill, and I just don't know what to do. By this time, I'm pretty good at riding downhills and uphills, better than most kids my age. But without a front brake, you gotta be kidding me. That's like your number one tool to be riding downhills. So what I would do is basically just lock up the back brake and bonsai down the hill, gaining speed with pretty much no control over my speed, and eventually I would just hit the dirt. My dad would help me out of it. He would pick up the bike for me, get it going, I'd climb back on top of it, and we'd ride on down the trail. This probably happened 3 or 4 times before the gas stop. And by the time we got to the gas stop, I was beat up, both physically from the endurance point of view, and also from the battering point of view. I had scrapes all over me. My bike was all scraped up. This enduro was chewing me up and spitting me out. That being said, right before the gas stop, my dad got a... Whoa! Oh, I can't believe we didn't have more damage hitting that tree. That was hairy. Alright, so my dad got a flat tire right before the gas stop. And if you get a flat tire and you hit the gas stop, if you're not going to fix it, you're not going to continue. And my dad saw what a rough time that I was having in this thing. And he knew that I'd probably say, yeah, I'm ready. Let's call it a day, because you won't be there to help me, and I'm already having a hard time. I have no front brake. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it a day. So my dad says, yeah, obviously I got a flat tire. He said, you don't want to keep going, do you? And I said, well, of course I want to keep going. Are you kidding me? And he goes, wait, what? I go, yeah, I want to keep going. I don't want to quit. I'm not broken. I can finish this without a front brake. He says, what happens when you crash? Who's going to pick you up? I said, somebody will. He goes, yeah, you're probably right. I go, yep, somebody will help me. He goes, are you sure you want to keep going? I could completely see the look. It was like a disapproving look in his eye, but he wasn't going to tell me no. If I didn't want to quit, he was going to allow me to keep going. And that's what happened, Moto Heads. So he dropped out without a front brake, all beat up. I pointed my front fender at the beginning of the trail of the second loop, and I pulled the trigger. All right, Moto Heads, we are on the last lap here at Southwick, sporting an 8-second lead. That's pretty good. All right, now concentrate right here. Make sure I get this section down. What you got to do is check up right here and then jump from there to there, over to that, to this, to that, to the other thing. Stay out of the water over those first spots. And now we got a 10-second lead, or we did momentarily there. Timing and scoring is not always correct. Oh, almost went off into the swamp. I just got to ride this thing home. So the riders, no disrespect to any of the other riders in here, but the riders that I'm the most afraid of in this race that actually made it to the starting line are I Eat Sand, Minty Pine Cones, and Fangster. All three of those guys could come up and zap the lead away from me at any time today, including right now. You never know. Something could happen to us as this moto winds down. All right, taking that secret line again. Absolutely love that line. And we are going to continue our first grown man Enduro saga once the green flag drops in the next moto, because this one's winding down. And now, according to timing and scoring, we have a 7 million umpteenth lead way out in front, zipping through the trees. Now I'm starting to feel confident in this Triple Crown. This is only one of 3 motos here, Moto Heads. This movie is going to be about an hour long. And we got a 2:57.69. That's not a bad lap time. Almost crashing. And we get the W. I Eat Sand in second place with Minty in third, Fangster in fourth. Super Sandy. Thanks to all these guys for showing up. Let's go ahead and get into the second moto. Thunder Valley for Moto 2. We got our game face on right here in our backyard in Colorado. All right, the gate is down. Getting a pretty decent jump. Oh, going wide off the track. Pretty much in last place here, Motoheads. Oh, there went a little digital body flailing across the track. Okay, 5th out of 8 at the beginning of this one. Hay bales flying everywhere and another body flopping around. Oh my God. We got reset, Motoheads. And we just got passed by Jab Wolf. That's going to put us back into 5th place. All right, Motoheads. Here comes a little hill line to the right. There we go. Everybody knows about that one. That one's no secret. Jab Wolf off the track. The leader is 3 seconds ahead of us. I don't think it's out of the question to reel him in. Here comes Jab Wolf again, number 23. And he and I are duking it out here in Thunder Valley, Colorado. Very great battle, going bar to bar. And we got a third rider in the mix. That's Sandy. Oh, both of those guys went down right there, I think. We just hit that steam donkey. But that's going to put us in 3rd place. And there's the 2 leaders going the other direction right there. So I just need to catch up to them. I'm going to rail this Talladega. Oh, no. Oh, that was Fangster. Completely putting a block pass on us. That was very well done by Fangster. No dirty riding whatsoever. That was textbook. Kind of took me off guard, and we just got passed again. Oh, Motoheads. Let's go. All right, Motoheads, we're up into 4th now. I love this outside line. If you nail it right, it gets you. Oh, no, we went a little bit too far to the right. Okay, uphill. I am an uphill riding fool. Getting around Fangster on the uphill. And I'm talking about both in the game and IRL. I know how to go up the hills as well as the downhills. Me and my older brother Montgomery used to be expert downhill riders, in particularly. I guess uphill as well, but man, we could rail some downhills. Woo! Almost hit that tree. I thought we were going down for a second. Okay, Fangster getting back around us again. And then, okay, we need to beat him to this tunnel, so if he doesn't make it, he doesn't clog it up for... Oh, no. Okay. So now Fangster and Jab Wolf got around us, putting us back to 5th as we finish our first lap here at Thunder Valley. IRL, the motocross teams are always whining that they can't get enough horsepower out of their motorcycles up here at this elevation. And I think that's pretty cute, because I travel down an elevation to attend this race every year. I've been going to the Thunder Valley National ever since they made it a national again. I'm talking about modern times. That was in 2005. Me and my ex-girlfriend, my mom and dad were visiting that year, Motoheads, so they also came to Thunder Valley on its opening year for the Nationals Part 2. And I've probably been to the Thunder Valley National at least 15 times since then. I think I've missed maybe 3 years. All right, Motoheads, we're not looking good right now, running in 5th. Struggling here in our backyard. Okay, so I was talking about my first grown man enduro. We got somebody in our sights. That's Minty Pine Cones. All right, we got 2 riders. We're about to get a twofer. Okay, I'm going to try that Talladega high-speed berm again here. Let's see what happens. Look at all that momentum, and then scrubbing that. There's my twofer, Motoheads, right there. That's what I was trying to do last lap when Fangster just pulled that expert move on me. Okay, running in 3rd. The leader is 6 seconds out in front of us. Okay, here comes Jab Wolf again. This is an ongoing thing here in this moto. Duking it out with Jab Wolf. All right, sorry, Jab Wolf, but I'm doing the uphill, and I'm going to do it faster than you. I saw somebody taking a line to the right there on the steeper part. Oh, there he is. So we are now reeling in 2nd place, Motoheads. I like it. Hard on the brakes. Oh, feeling that weightlessness. And we're about to log another lap here at Thunder Valley. Okay, concentrate. Notice how much I slowed down. So much that I got caught up to by... Who is that? Who is number 23? Is that Jab Wolf? Not again. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, Motoheads, this is an exciting race. We got less than 9 minutes left. Okay, so I was talking about my first grown man enduro. Oh man, I thought we were going down for sure again right there, hitting the sign and everything. Okay, so it was the beginning of the 2nd loop. I had no front brake. I couldn't lift up my own bike if and when I crashed, knowing that I was going to crash. I just got reset. And so did Jab Wolf. And I got reset again. And Jab Wolf off the track. It's like we're having a competition to see who can look more silly right now. And in the meantime, the leader is a good 12 seconds out in front. We'll see what we can do. We still have almost 8 minutes left in this race. Okay, so I started out on the trail, 13 years old. And I was just determined to finish this race. By the beginning of the 2nd loop, I was starting to master the lock up the rear brake and slide until you crash downhill technique. Oh, almost off the track. That was close. And it looks like we are gapping whoever is behind us just enough to feel comfortable. There's that high-speed section again. I love this track. Oh, that guy behind us seems to be catching up again. So I'm riding down the trail, and the first time I get to a serious uphill, I just blast up it. There's a couple guys down here and there, and I weave through them, and I just get right up it, no problem. And then I get to a hairy downhill, And miraculously, I made it down that thing without crashing. And then I get to the next hairy uphill, and there's a little line waiting to try it. Everybody's giving each other space, one at a time, trying to get up this hill. And one of the guys that was stuck on the uphill before that, he pulls up right behind me, kind of almost next to me. And my motor's not going. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for my opportunity. There's a little downhill, like a dip before you go up the uphill. So I'm gonna bump start it down that and then hit the hill. And he says to me, "Hey kid," and I look over at him. He goes, "You're gonna have no problem with this thing." And he just smiles at me. And it's like he wasn't telling me anything I didn't already know. I was a pretty good uphill rider. And I just nodded at him like, "Yeah, yep, you're right, I will." Now, I was thinking to myself, are you going to get right up this thing? Because you were stuck on the last hill, so I'd worry about yourself, homeboy. So I go up this hill, and I don't make it. I get stuck part way up. And then somebody else comes up beside me, and then that guy that said that, he makes his try, and he doesn't make it. And the next thing you know, him and I are helping each other up this hill. We're helping push each other's bikes and things like that. He's like way stronger than me. He's a grown man. I'm a little kid. It was pretty funny in hindsight. I would catch my breath a lot quicker than him. I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's go ahead. Let's get this thing rolling." He's like, "Hold on, man. I smoke cigarettes. I need to take a second." In hindsight, it was all pretty funny. At the time, I just wanted to get going. So I did the technique a couple of more times on some downhills where you lock up the back brake, get to a point where your speed is uncontrollable, as your motorcycle kind of already is already with the rear wheel locked up, and then you just dump it. And then I would just wave for somebody to stop. They'd stop and help me out. I'd get back going again. And this entire procedure was a very slow process, moto heads. I just saw second place going the other direction. Oh no, he's pretty far up there. We got 4 minutes left in this here second moto of 3. Oh, kind of struggling right there a little bit. Anyway, so I'm just getting beat up and still struggling in the second loop of my first grown man enduro. And I was way behind time. So if you come to a check more than an hour behind your scheduled time to be there, moto heads, your race is pretty much over at that point. However, if you roll your motorcycle across the finish line, you still get a ticket. And I'll explain that ticket a little later in the story. It was a ticket that at that time looked like an admission at a movie house. Alright, motoheads. So you got a ticket and a finisher's pin. And this would be the first time that I would get a finisher's pin for a grown man enduro. That being said, I did not finish within an hour of the time allotted. Meaning that my race was over probably on checkpoint 6 of 8. Regardless of all that, I'm struggling down the trail, getting help from strangers. And at one checkpoint, it was probably the second to the last checkpoint, the checkpoint before the end, which would have been the 7th checkpoint. I roll in, I'm just battered. And I hear this voice, it was a kid's voice, and he says, "Man, that guy's slow." And then I hear a woman's voice, and she's all, "Oh my God, Paul, how old is he?" And the man doing my little check thing, the guy riding on my front fender with the ballpoint pen, he says, "How old are you?" I said, I'm 13. He says to his wife, "Oh no, motoheads, we just went down. I don't think that's going to affect our position. There's nobody behind us, nobody in front of us." We're just riding it home here at Thunder Valley. And so he says, Barbara, he's 13. And then the lady says, oh my God, he is so cute. And then she says to the kid who called me slow, who I'm presuming was her son, she says, how come you're not out there? Anyway, I got going again. And by the time I made it to the finish line, it was starting to get dark. And I feel bad for my dad. He just wanted to go home. And he's waiting there, just wondering, like, do I got to go out and find this kid out in the woods? I see somebody in front of us here, Moto Heads. Are we catching second place? Or could that possibly be a lapper on this long, drawn-out lap here at Thunder Valley? All right, doing the uphill. He's taking that line. He took that line a little bit to the right. Yeah, that's got to be second place. And there's still some time left on the clock, which means we're still going to have another lap to try to catch this guy. There he is, right there. I believe that's I Eat Sand, if I'm not mistaken. I definitely recognize the back of his motorcycle. I've seen it enough times. Okay, we got to nail this tunnel. Oh, that was sketchy. I cannot afford to make a mistake right now. I got to get this second place. Oh. We got 2 laps to go, Moto Heads. Okay, he's right there. I can smell him. Okay, that's kind of a trick little line right there. Didn't pull it off perfect. And he knows all the secret lines here as well. We just got to ride faster than him from this point on. It was like the late, great Malcolm Smith used to say all the time. It's quick, not fast. And we're trying to be quick. All right, Moto Heads, we got him. We got a whole nother lap after this to put a stamp on it. And after we pass this guy, we're going to go ahead and pull away from him for the sake of psychological warfare in Moto number 3. This is an exciting end to this moto. Almost off the track there again. That was a tricky spot back there. Oh no, I can't believe we didn't get Okay, we did get reset. Now we just gotta hope that he makes a mistake or two. We're down to 6 riders in the moto. I want to thank everybody that showed up to do this race. This is a little thing I got together. I announced it last week. Been trying to get people to race it. We got way more people that said they would race it. Whoa, getting a little huckabuck right there. We had way more people that said they wanted to race it than we did people that actually showed up. Big shout out to Minty Pine Cones, putting some heaters down on the leaderboards. That goes for I Eat Sand. Whoa. You know, the professional motocross racer, one of the fastest riders in the world, the Reno kid, showed interest, said he was going to race, put in some lap times on the leaderboards. I don't know. And then I think he came down with a bad case of fear, possibly combined with a little cowardism. He didn't show up, and I think what happened was I went and I put some faster laps on the leaderboards than he had, and that's when the bone spurs set in, and he decided to not show up to battle. All right, Moto Heads, we got the white flag running in third. Oh, there he is again. There's I Eat Sand. going down, giving us another opportunity to take second place. Oh, this is good, Moto Heads. God, I love this track. The uphill and the downhill. Whoa, he went way up there. I've never quite done it like that. We got a 2:55.3. That's a pretty fast lap, I think. And we're going bar to bar with I Eat Sand on the last lap. Crazy racing. Oh, and he just brake checked us right into the rock. Very well played on his part. Salute to I Eat Sand. Oh, we got reset. That's really gonna put an explanation point on us not winning this battle with I Eat Sand. He's already way down there, going through the next turn. We just gotta hope once again that he messes something up, like this turn right here. Whoa, we kind of messed it up. That's a tricky turn, and it's hard to stay on the track right here. All right, Motohead, so my dad was back at camp waiting and waiting and waiting. It's starting to get dark. His dumb kid's out in the middle of the woods on a motorcycle. There's a reason we always had a little survival kit when we raced Enduros, and that included 2 Snickers bars. So I was good out there with my Snickers bars, Dad. No, actually, I was still just riding, trying to finish the race. And he was starting to worry. Back in those days, there was no such thing as a helicopter rescue. People would just break off their own limbs and use them as crutches and things like that. It was a different time. We're trying a different line here. Okay, that line wasn't terrible. We still have a chance for second. And the leader just finished. He's way out there. That was Fangster who just won this moto. I'm already doing the math. He finished 4th in the first moto. So that's good for us. And we're about to finish 3rd, I'm hoping. I mean, 2nd, I'm hoping. Last couple tunnels to go. Yeah, we're going to get a 3rd. All right, Motoheads. Fangster up on top. I Eat Sand. Then us. Minty Pine Cones in 4th place. Jab Wolf. And then props to Sean for hanging in there. Thank you very much for showing up and racing, Sean. Moto 3 at Ayresburg. We got our game face on at the bottom of the Iron Giant Quarry. The gate is down. Just like IRL, water puddles everywhere. We're about to climb out of the quarry. Our first ascent of many. And we got the whole shot, Motoheads. Fangster gets right around us, keeping it low on the uphill. There are some really technical sections here at Ayresburg. Over here in Austria, we got plenty of company behind us. Keeping it low over that gap. This is a crazy high-speed 4th gear section. And now we got our first technical uphill to go up. This is called Lazy Moon. Oh, we going bar to bar through the arc at the top of Lazy Moon. Very cool. All right, Motoheads, once again, we're going to get wide open here. All the way to 4th gear. Fangster is hauling. Oh, you can't overshoot that turn. It's so easy to do. Nice hairy downhill here. And then we're going to drop back down to the bottom of the quarry. Oh, almost hit that rock. Got a little bit of a switchback. And then through the log section. And we got another technical uphill here. This one's called Dynamite. Fangster's right there, going up dynamite. Got to keep my momentum. Oh, Fangster goes down. We just did a burnout on his little digital body. That puts us in the lead, Motoheads. All right, so far so good here. And there comes Fangster trying to push us off the track. We got some old school hay bales. That's the way we like it. And here comes the most technical hill. It is called the Wasserleittung in German. That means water pipe in English, and we just had no problem with it. That thing can bite in the butt like out of nowhere. You don't even know what happened. You're starting to go up, also known as the water pipe, and out of the blue, boom, it just grabs you. All right, Motoheads, I want to talk about that jump that I just did, clearing that gap. Maybe I'll do it on the next lap. But I gotta, okay, and that right there, Motoheads, is called Carl's Dinner. I'm laughing. If you know, you know. Carl's Dinner is a really rocky, really bad technical section, IRL, and that was just a few rocks thrown on the ground back there. So to call it Carl's Dinner, no, let's call this that. Here's some more rocks. And this right here, Motoheads, that's called Carl's Dinner. Once again, fake laugh. If you know, you know. Carl's Dinner is just so hardcore. There's nothing on this game like it. The closest thing to Carl's Dinner on this game... Oh, doing the elevator there. Down the elevator shaft. The closest thing to Carl's Dinner on this video game would be the Hangtown Invitational. Has a rock section that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool section, but nothing like Carl's Dinner. All right, Motoheads, we're about to log in our first lap, and we got a rider right behind us, and that's Fangster. He just latched on, and we got right behind him. We got Minty number 114. He is riding a very unorthodox motorcycle in this event. It is an Eastern Bloc CZ, Soviet made. Yes, I said Soviet. That means it's from the 1980s, and it's some kind of experimental 3-stroke. Don't ask me to explain it, but it's weird. You should see the swing arm on that bike. God bless Minty Pinecone's pea-picking heart for riding that monstrosity, but he swears by it in the Enduros. I don't know. All right, up dynamite again. I'm sorry, Lazy Moon. That was Lazy Moon. My bad. Sometimes you just get fatigued in these Enduro races. I myself, Motoheads, I'm just getting warmed up. And I've got a 2-second lead. Oh, hold it tight. Okay, we got somebody closing in on us. I believe that to be Fangster. All right. Oh, almost hit that rock again. That's beginning to become a bad habit. All right, Motoheads, rolling that nicely. And Fangster is still right there. Oh, I thought for sure we were going down right there. Okay, and up dynamite now. Okay, no problem, up dynamite. And just like that, we got a good 5-second lead here at Ayresburg. Some call it the Iron Giant. And Motoheads, I was lucky enough to be a spectator at Ayresburg in 2016. Okay, here we go up the water pipe. Oh no, Motoheads. And that's why this is the hardest section on the track right there. And now I'm struggling. Come on, let's get up this. Oh no! Motoheads, I am making this look hard. Kind of because it is. And just like that, we lost our lead. Well, we didn't lose our lead, but we lost our comfortable lead. And we got Fankster closing in on us again. We got 8 minutes left in this moto. All right, Motoheads, before I get into the story of when I went to Ayresburg in 2016. Oh, there's Fankster. Coming and nudging us, making some contact. The kid is thirsty for a win. All right, I'm doing the math. He finished 4th in the first moto. He won the second moto. That gives him 4 points coming into this. If he wins this moto, he will have 5. If we finish second, we will have 6. He will win the overall if he can get around us. This is good stuff right here, Motoheads. Kind of wish more riders would have showed up. We're going to do another one of these probably next month. We'll probably make it a monthly thing, maybe every 6 weeks, something like that. Oh, woo! Oh, there's Fankster showing us a wheel again. Oh, we cut to the inside. Okay, we're about to get to the finish line here again. And that's going to give us a lap time. It's not going to be a good lap time, especially after the big struggle we had there up the water pipe, going down and all that. Okay, we're 4 seconds ahead of Fankster again. That's a 4 minute and 11 second lap time. I'm going to give big props to the developers of Rainbow Studios for making this track. More where this came from, please. I also want to thank Rainbow Studios because what they did, Motoheads, is they stopped the random weather in the public lobbies. So now when you go to a race, you know it's not going to rain. If you want rain, you got to put it there yourself. Thank you, Rainbow Studios, for listening to your clientele. We appreciate it. That was the biggest improvement of this game ever. Getting rid of the snow in San Diego randomly, that was just stupid. All right, Motoheads, let's zip in and out of these rocks right here. Going up Lazy Moon. Okay, I'm going to finish my first Grown Man Enduro story first before I get into Ayresburg. Still with a 5 second lead. All right, so my dad was waiting for me. It was starting to get dark. And finally, I rolled across that finish line. Tired as could be, just beat up. And then I saw my dad, and he looked surprised to see me. And that look in his eye that was surprised. Oh, Motoheads going down on the uphill. Was I calling this Carl's dinner? I don't remember. We're bar to bar with Fankster again with just under 5 minutes left on the clock. Good stuff. 6 riders left in this event. All right, Motoheads. What was I calling this one again? The Machine or something like? No. Oh! Getting knocked around. Here comes Fankster again. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, got back around Fankster. Okay, here we go. Up the water pipe. Oh boy, we got stopped in our tracks right there on that hay bale. And Fankster's going to lead us up the water pipe. Both of us having no problem. Alright, so that look in my dad's eye that was surprised when he saw me quickly turned into the look of pride. I never seen the old man so proud of me in my life. My dad was pretty much an emotionless robot like dads were back then, before they were okay with their sons being their daughters. Oh, that's that jump I wanted to talk to you guys about, but we got to get around Fankster here. Oh, Fankster off the cliff, and he gets reset at the top of the hill. That is one glitch I have noticed on this track before, Motoheads. I did the same exact thing. I went off that hill that Fankster... Oh, we are bouncing around. Oh, we are just looking like a couple of amateur clowns. Oh, here's Carl's dinner. Going through Carl's dinner. a little quicker than in IRL. Manny makes it look hard in real life. And that says a lot. If you don't know who Manny is, Google it. All right, we hit that sign on the downhill, and Fangster went down, giving us some breathing room. Anyway, my dad looked so proud that I finished that race. I was proud of myself, Motoheads, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, going across the finish line again. See if we can't beat that 4-minute and 11-second lap time. My fastest lap on this track is 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, we got a 4:10, 0.99, 0.89. But we got a 3-second lead. 2 minutes left on the clock. That means we're going to get the white flag the next time we cross the finish line, signifying that there will be 1 lap left. All right, so that was, in a nutshell, that was the story of my first grown man enduro. Now then, Ayresburg 2016. Me and my ex-wife were already going to both Austria and Poland. We had our tickets booked. We were going to ride around on this Euro train. We did ride around on that Euro train. And I was watching a hard enduro event. And they said on TV, they said, and join us in June at Ayresburg Rodeo. I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Austria in June. So I tweaked the plans around a little bit. We ended up in this small town in Austria. I think it was called Edmont, if I remember correctly. And then I couldn't figure out how to get to the race from there. And that's when I saw mountain bikes for rent outside of the hotel we were staying in. So we rented mountain bikes. We rode them about 20 miles uphill through the Austrian National Forest. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, this race ain't over yet. We only have a 5-second lead. And we rode these mountain bikes up to the iron mine where the Iron Giant, they call it, where they hold the Ayresburg Rodeo. If you're going to go there as a spectator, the chances are you're going to leave without even knowing who won. That's how I left. And you are going to get a workout, Motoheads. And twice I got yelled at. Well, not really literally yelled at, but I got a talking to by course officials at Ayresburg. The first time I was just so stoked to be there that I was getting overzealous with cheering random riders going by me. These guys weren't even pros, and I was yelling like I was at an American motocross race cheering on my favorite rider. And what was happening is they were slowing down and even stopping because they thought something was wrong. They were like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, nah, man, I'm cheering you on. Go, go, go. And a course announcer came, or not announcer, a course official came over and waved his finger at me a little bit. And then later on, I was at one of the huge, crazy uphills. Now, this is back when they used to allow the crowd to help pull your bike up. There was a bunch of people up at top with ropes helping people pulling their bikes up. But I was at the bottom of the hill. And what I got into was dodging the rocks as they rolled down the hill. I would wait for them to come, and then I'd jump out of the way. And once again, one of the course officials did not like that at all. We walked up hills, we walked down hills, we got a workout, and then we had to mountain bike back down to the hotel. It was a long day, Motoheads. And I still couldn't even tell you who won that year. That start was so cool, though. I was up on the edge looking down with a bunch of other people. It was an awesome experience. But like I said, you can't really tell really what's going on with the racing. We're about to get the white flag here at Ayresburg. So as I was riding that mountain bike both to and from the event, We got more than a 15-second lead now, Moto Heads. We're going to win this race, and we're going to win the overall. That's just my educated guess projection. Okay, so while we were riding those mountain bikes to and from the race, I felt so vulnerable to being hit by a car. I don't know how road cyclists do it without stressing. They're trying to stay healthy, and I guess they just assume a car won't run them over. It's weird. I am against bicyclists riding around where there is no room for them in traffic. People seem surprised when they get crushed to death, and I always say, like, well, duh. And no disrespect to Nicky Hayden, that's the way he died, but, you know, well, duh. All right, Moto Heads, we're on the last lap. I can't wait to do another one of these Triple Crown Enduros. Nobody else is doing this stuff. Most people hate these tracks. Hence why there's only 6 people at the end of this race. I believe there was a good 9 people lined up at the first moto. We're going to count everybody's results. And perhaps a viewer or two would like to participate. All you got to do is send me a friend request on the PlayStation Network. I go by the name Highwatered. Okay, Moto Heads. I love this little uphill jump before this uphill. It is so cool. Smooth. That's the way you do it. And we lost some of our lead. Whoever is in second place is really hanging it out trying to catch us. I gotta say also, Moto Heads, concerning that Ayresburg experience. Okay, so what's so hard about that? Water pipe? That was easy. Or Raccoon Slider, whatever they call it. As far as that Ayresburg experience was concerned, whoa. One thing I learned for sure is that your average Austrian person is in fantastic physical condition. Not only that, when it came to hiking up some of the crazy hills, they helped each other out. You would make it up the hill. Oh, not like that. Okay, we got reset at the top at least, just like Fangster. But you got help from the person in front of you at the very top of the hill, or whatever part was the most difficult. And then you stopped and helped the next person up, and they stopped and helped the next person up. Not like America. It was very, people seemed to get along over there. I liked it. I loved Austria. All right, Moto Heads. This race is winding down. We're getting ready to go down the big elevator. I gotta say, this is the funnest enduro racing I've done on this game. And if we could get another couple guys in here, at least 3 or 4 more people, that would be so much better. One of the guys that said he was going to race that didn't show up was the fastest motocross racer in the world, obviously afraid of the fastest enduro racer in the world. I'm going to say that's me, Moto Heads. I'm going to say that's me. All right, Moto Heads, here's the overall. What a great time. Big thanks to Fangster, who finished second. Big thanks to Minty. Big thanks to I Eat Sand. Big thanks to JMP Wolf. Big thanks to Sean, Sandy, Bert. Big thanks to Bob Hizzle. Didn't even know he was racing in a Triple Crown, probably. Whatever you Moto Heads do from here, have fun with it, and we will see you in the next moto.